never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
All right, y'all, we're here. We're live. You're watching Buster Unmasked. We're here on a Saturday night. First time I've ever done Saturday night. I've hit every night of the week now doing this podcast. You know what you got to do. You got to like this video. You got to share this video. And you got to go to Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Hit that little bell, that little red bell, so you know when content's coming out. You don't even have to look for it. Got a good show for you here today. I've been dying to get my guest on here that I've got tonight since the very first day I started this podcast. And I've got him here finally. But before we go there, I need to promote and plug my sponsors, because without those guys, this show may not be happening in the Dirty Dozens Pro Wrestling Roast Battles coming up on September 14th. This coming Sunday, not tomorrow, but next Sunday, would not be happening. First off, if you need any news or information around the Jackson, Tennessee area, tune in to 101.5 FM or 103.5 FM for Talking West Tennessee for all your breaking news, sports, and weather in and around the Jackson area and beyond. You can also log in on your computer to Talk, T-A-L-K, the letter N, WestTN.com, TalkinWestTennessee.com. And for all your sports talk, you can type in newstalk103.5.com. Anything you need to know that's going on in and around the Jackson area, these guys have got it. Weather, sports, news, it does not matter. And if you're anywhere around the Caruthersville, Missouri area, and anybody in your family or you need in-home care, look, for all your in-home care needs and consumer direct services, be sure to check out Glowing Hearts. In and around Caruthersville, Missouri area, their main priority is caring for you and your family. Great people, easy to work with, will get you satisfied and make sure you or your family is taken care of 100%. If you need any in-home services, be sure to holler at Glowing Hearts in and around Caruthersville, Missouri. Also, the Boot Hill Sports Network. Be sure to check that out. It's BOOTHEEL. You get what I did there. Boot Hill Sports Network on YouTube. All your great live local sports in and around the Missouri Boot Hill. Plus, they're the home every Saturday morning of the Unified Wrestling Alliance. You want to check that out. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mark Manley and American Hostile Championship Wrestling and the Unified Wrestling Alliance. Without all these guys, probably wouldn't be doing this show right now. And talking about doing this show, you know I got to promote the Dirty Dozens, and then we're going to get our guest on here because I am dying to talk to this man.
You already know who it is.
We be bustin'.
It's Big Buster, baby. And I got something
All right, y'all. Next Sunday night, September 14th, 8 p.m., the Dirty Dozens Pro Wrestling Roast Battles. Do not miss that. Be sure to tune in. If you want to have fun and laugh and have a good time, that's what this show is all about. Got some great contestants, and these guys are going to go after each other. No holds barred on the microphone, and two of these guys are going to walk out of next Sunday $50 richer apiece. But tonight, it's all about my guest. You know, last week I had a guy on here and I talked about him being the face of the company, and I talked about 4 guys that I thought was the forerunners around this area. Hey, I want to retract my statement. Those 4 guys are still the forerunners, but you have to include this man right here tonight. Let me just say this about my guest tonight. He is a second-generation professional wrestler. He takes, look, let me say this. He's a no-nonsense wrestler. He kisses nobody's ass. He does not play politics. He goes to the show, does what he's got to do, goes home, and that's why he's successful, and he is a winner. He is currently your NWA Dog Pound Championship Wrestling and Texas Style Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion. He's also still your current Bluff City Wrestling Southern Heavyweight Champion. Without any further ado, I bring to you the last Hotstepper, DJ Brown.
Hey,
DJ.
how you doing, Buster? How you going, man?
Dude, I have been dying to have you on this thing, like I said in the opening, since I started this podcast, man. I know your dad well, man. Matter of fact, me and you got a lot in common, not just your dad. We were born in the same town. We grew up in the same town of Helena, Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
So we know what it's like to live in Hell Town. We know about that.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember you when you was a kid getting into shows, your daddy bringing you to shows in places that you probably were, not probably, you were definitely too young to be in, even just watching the shows when KAW was rolling. And I just want to tell you one thing, dude. I am so proud of you and what you're accomplishing right now. You're out here making a name for yourself in bigger companies. Talk to me about that before we really get into it, DJ. I see you got 2 belts on your shoulders and the Southern Heavyweight titles there too. So talk about going from being a kid, going to shows, watching your dad wrestle, to now sitting in front of me with 3 belts on you, dude.
Well, first thing first, let me sit these down for a second, because it's so, like, being a kid and coming off, like I said, second generation, you know. So, like a kid, my dad always asked me, you want to wrestle? And I would keep telling him no. So he was like, okay. So, like, one summer, all I did was watch nothing but his film, which that was on VHS at that time.
Right.
And I was literally watching it like the whole summer, studying, stuff like that. And so my dad like, okay, he's going to test me out. So I graduated from Oakhaven High School 2010. I got done graduating. He had a show that same night. And that's when that was my debut. And I was like so scared at that time and stuff like that. And like I said, every time I talk to my dad, he always say he's proud of me, he loved me and stuff like that, because when I was a kid, I couldn't see him and stuff like that because he'd been on the road a lot.
Right.
So now it's reversed. As you can see, I'm always on the road and hardly at home and stuff like that. And like I literally talked to him. He like, where you at tonight? I said, I'm in Tampa, Florida. He was like, he said, man, you everywhere. I said, yeah, I am, man. I'm like out here still grinding, still trying to get my name out there, you know. So
right, man. And here's the thing. I can say this because I was there with Danny. You guys, there's a lot more opportunities out there for you guys now to spread your wings and branch out. Back in the day, I mean, really, around this area, it was Outlaws or Memphis. It was Outlaws or Lawler show. Then from there, you hope to maybe get a shot at ECW or WCW or WWF at the time. There's a lot more outlets going on, a lot of companies out here. Your company, your home company, man, I got to call it your home company because the NWA, Man, you hold 2 of their junior heavyweight titles, and that's no small feat, Danny. So
Yeah.
talk to me about that. The weight that you just got all that weight off your shoulders, but honestly, just because you put them belts down does not mean the weight's off your shoulders. Talk to
Right.
me about knowing that you're the guy in 2 NWA promotions already, man.
So being 2 junior heavyweight champion, 2 different promotions is like it's like tough because you got a target on your back. You have to be ready for whatever, whenever. And let me rephrase that. It's an NWA Texas Dog Pound Championship Wrestling Junior Heavyweight, if I may ask. And also NWA Texas TSW Junior Heavyweight Champion. Okay. So with that, it's like Saturday, that's in Forney, Texas. That's the TSW, the TV taping. And then that following Sunday, that's San Antonio with Dog Pound Championship Wrestling, which Jazz and Rodney Mack both run that show there. And like I say, the guy that I had to beat for the TSW heavyweight champion was Soda Pop at the time. Because they brought me in to be a heel, if that makes sense. I was a baby for 14 years, so I've been wrestling for 16 years. So Rodney brought me in to be a heel just for one particular person, and that was Soda Pop at the time. Because I'm very tough. Because everybody look at me because I'm short and small and quiet, like I'm not that tough, but actually I am. So let me just fast forward to the down breaking part. So basically, I killed Soda Pop. So Soda Pop is no more. So I killed the character in him, and I took his title away. So now I'm the big dog at Dog Pound Championship Wrestling, and also the big dog at TSW as well. So it's like from that point on, I'm like, I had to keep looking on my shoulder because everybody want a shot and stuff like that. So I'm like, I give anybody a shot. If you want a shot, I give you a shot. I'm like, anybody that wants a shot, they can have one. So
I'll say this, DJ. I don't think nobody that watches you wrestle don't think you're tough. I'm going to be honest with you. You remind me so much of your dad. Look, and I'm going to say this outright, and I'm dying to get Danny on this podcast too. Me and him's talked about it a few times, just never materialized. But here's the thing. In the ring, technically, rope for rope, bell for bell, I think you're better than your dad was in the ring, without a doubt. But the one thing y'all got in common is y'all's style of wrestling. The stiffness. Everything you do looks good. Everything you do is snug. Everything you do is believable, DJ.
Right.
So
that's why I'm at that's why I'm at where I'm at now. You see, that's why I'm like right here at the top right now, because I make my stuff stiff. I make my stuff look good. Everything believable. But at the end of the day, don't nobody get hurt because I know what I'm doing. And then as far as my dad, because we did a show in Trent, and I got years in, so I told him, I said, you better than me on the microphone because he got charisma. But I said, I'm better than you in the ring. And he stopped and said, you know what, you're right. And I said, yeah, I know. So, and like everybody like, you need to get better on your promo. I said, yeah, I know. I got a speak impediment because I know I'm from Helena. So my way of talking and stuff like this, like, oh my God, you talk with your tongue, you don't, boy. I'm like, I said, hey, it is what it is. But I also tell people, I show my action in the ring. But I know I can't get to that next level if I can't cut promo, which I'm working on that now. So with all that, so I'm like, hopefully I get a shot at NWA power and stuff like that. So, but until then, I'm still gonna keep working hard and stuff like that, just to make my dad proud, even though he already is, and kids as well. So, because I know I don't get my flowers and stuff like that. I hate to say it, I don't get my flowers and stuff like that in Memphis, which that is fine. I'm like, that's cool. I ain't got no problem, nothing like that, because everybody talk about the big dog in the Mid-South, but I'm like, but yet I'm the big dog in the Mid-South, but I'm very quiet and I move so slightly and quiet, so you won't even know where I'm at unless you know me personally and I tell you exactly where I'm at.
Let me tell you this, DJ. You may not get as much public accolades as I feel like you deserve, you deserve, but I can promise you this. Your name is on the tip of everybody's tongue behind the scenes. Everybody in the know, everybody who runs a company, promotes a show, they want DJ Brown on their show. I can promise you that. I've talked to 90% of them, and anytime your name comes up, that's all they talk about is how talented you are. And I'll be honest with you, I think it's a blessing in disguise that you don't concentrate all of your time here. I like the fact that you branch out and you go to these different places. Let me explain this to you. When I first broke back in the business, and you first come on my radar, the first thing that got me about you, you had out of state bookings, and if I remember right, you go jump on the Greyhound bus and ride the bus to those bookings so you can make those bookings. That right there, I've told, look, guy after guy, that right there, that's a kid right there, a young man who deserves to make it in this business.
That part. So when I would start going to Dallas, Texas a lot, I was literally riding. They call it was the mega bus at that time, and I was on that joint every weekend. I'm like, man, back and forth, and still had to get to the shows. Sometimes, like I say, when I do drive, I don't get like hotels. I get there, rest area, and go to sleep, and I go to the next town or next state and stuff like that. And that's why I was trying to tell a lot of younger guys that's under me. I'm like, it's a big world out there than inside of Memphis. It's a big world out there. You just gotta go out there and put your name on it. And right now, in my 16 years as a professional wrestler, I've been in at least about 10 states already and repeating. And I'm coming out for some more. So it's like I said, it's a tough world out there. But right now, I'm stuck I'm not gonna say I'm stuck, but Dog Pound Championship Wrestling in San Antonio is where it's at, to be honest with you.
Right. And they're part of the NWA. The NWA is opening up new companies and territories all over. So there's a lot of opportunity there, DJ. You said that earlier when you were talking, you said that getting out, working you wish you could have worked when me and your dad was working. It seemed like more fun, a lot more going on, a lot more shows going on, but they were all stuck around here, like we said. If you wasn't you were either an outlaw or you were part of Lawler's group. There wasn't a bunch of other companies running around Memphis, Tennessee, running shows. Those were the two. And man, here's the thing. It takes a lot of hard drive and dedication to jump on a Greyhound bus or a mega bus. I'm old school, so it was Greyhound.
Yeah,
last time I rode a bus, it was Greyhound. But jump on a bus and go all the way to Texas, then come all the way back. Talk to me about that, man. Talk to me about what made you do that, because I can promise you this, there's a ton of other wrestlers with a lot of potential that would not have the gumption. If they knew they were going to have to ride the bus 6 hours somewhere and 6 hours back, they would probably not take the booking, but you do, man. And you did.
So what made me do that is I started for a while. Then I found Soul Taker at RSWF that was in Memphis at the time. And I was wrestling there for years. And then somebody came on to me and said, Brown, you need to get out there and get better, like go to different states and get better. So that's when I found Sir Mo that's in Dallas, Texas. That's Sword Championship Wrestling. And I went there. Then when I was going there, then everything else was opened up a little by little. And I did his show for like 3.5 years. And then I found another company in Milton, Florida, which was CWF at the time. Went there. And then from there, I was jumping from state to state, from Boston, Massachusetts, like I say, Florida, Texas, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. Oh my gosh,
man, that's a lot. That's a long wingspan you're spreading out there, DJ.
Yeah, and that's just partial of it, So I'm like, and then that's when I get to meet guys and stuff like that new guys and stuff like that, talk to them, because like I say, when you go to new shows, right, appearance is everything. So I dress up, but they decline me every time because I wear glasses and I'm short. So it's like every time. So I'm like, okay. And then the guy don't know it's me that he's wrestling. He talking noise to me. I'm like, okay. And then he realizes me. He's like, okay. And get in the ring. He like, oh man. Then got done. You're like, man, you are. You like, man, I ain't know you with that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but are you okay? I'm good. All right. But he didn't know I was that good. But he looked at me because I was short with glasses and stuff like that and very quiet. And I scare like a lot of guys when I get to shows and I look half sleepy and stuff like that. Like I don't feel like working or nothing and stuff like that. So, but when that time comes, my music hit, I get so much energy. I'm like, how you do that? I said, it's a light switch. I turn it on and off when I feel like it or when the time is needed. So that's how like I literally got there and got other opportunities and still got other opportunities coming in. Like one of the biggest opportunities I had was AEW Dark that they had in Orlando, Florida. Okay. This when I was doing SOAR. So most 6 guys and stuff like that. And all 5 guys caught the airplane. They flew to Orlando. And they're like, DJ, how you getting there? I said, I'm driving. You're like, what? You drive from Memphis to Orlando? I said, yes, I'm driving. And they were like, you know that far? I said, okay. I said, so ask me this question. I said, how you going to get around if you just flew? Because at that time, what's that? Uber was very, very high. It was like $60 just to go a half a mile. And like, that's so much. So when I got to AEW Dark or whatever, got there, signed in and all that, I wasn't supposed to wrestle this. I wasn't supposed to wrestle at that time. So it was like the other 5 guys I wasn't supposed to wrestle. But they needed a short guy that can bump just to take this dive or whatever. I said, okay. I looked around. I was the only short guy there. I'm like, and I look around all these big guys. I said, I know I'm not finna get picked to this wrestle. I'm like, but the grace of God, I literally got like that one opportunity, and I'm like very thankful for that. Even though the match was 30 seconds, I'm still grateful for that.
Right.
Because,
well, I mean,
because it was other guys. They was doubting themselves. They wanted to change their whole character, everything. They were like, how you get picked? I said, you have to understand, I'm short and I can bump. I'm like, they needed that for the guy that was bringing in as a monster. They need that. It won't look right for you because y'all about the same size and stuff like that. So I went from that. So now I'm affiliated with NWA Texas. So I'm affiliated with NWA territory at that time. Right now I am. So I did, a couple months I did NWA Texas with JCP in Decatur, which that was actually very good as well. And they were like very professional and all. So I'm looking forward to going back to there. And then like another one is NWA Chicago. That's another one too. So I was like, okay. And then now they start branching out to different ones and stuff like that. So like I said, it's a lot of opportunities and a lot of stuff that people can get done at this time.
Look, DJ, we got K&J Gaming. He wants to know who some of your favorite opponents in Memphis wrestling are the RSWF. You mentioned Soul Taker a few minutes ago. Who's some of your favorite opponents, man, that you've wrestled in Memphis wrestling and RSWF?
It's a lot, but I'm gonna try to narrow it down to 3. The first one was Kevin Bliss, and I was like, man, somebody my side, and like he can talk. He's very good and stuff, and he was good at listening and stuff like that too. He brought me out of my shell a little bit as well. Like I say, this guy, like now he's at 901, like he's doing very good and stuff like that. Salute to him and stuff like that. Then the next one is Big Ace. Man, we go to work every Saturday night. And then he always had backup, which rest in peace to V Man. Like, dude, that was the only big guy that literally gave me a drop kick and hit me on top of my head. I said, oh my gosh, bro. I'm like, really?
Right.
Yeah, so that I was like, man, but it was great to get in the ring with those guys to teach me, help me, to get better, especially with some that I grew up watching and grew up, around the business with and stuff like that. And the stiffest one besides me was Charles Ray at that time. But because everybody now they were like, man, Charles, he's strong. I said, yeah, y'all got him. I said, but y'all didn't get him when he was green, like he was brand new. And I kind of missed it. So I was like, oh man. I said, dude. But at the end of the day, I thank all my uncles, cousins, and stuff like that for helping me, and they still do it at this time. I can't name them all because it's like a long list.
So look, I like to jump around. We've kind of talked about modern, what's going on for you right now, but let's go back. Let's go all the way back. I'm going to say 1998 or 9, DJ. I remember being at the Spinnaker's Bar in Jackson, Tennessee. Danny B comes rolling up, and as always, you right there with him, dude. You right there. Everybody's kind of sneaking you in the stands up there.
Yeah.
Danny, I know Danny's telling you, hey, just sit here, don't make no scene of yourself, don't get noticed, kind of be here. Talk to me about growing up in that environment, dude, because here's the thing. I see a lot of your daddy in you, and I see a lot of that time frame in you, your mentality. It's different than a lot of these other guys' mentality right now, DJ.
So at that, like I said, I'm from here in Arkansas. I wasn't down into like violence and stuff like that at the time. So like this one summer when I was a kid, and he had a show at KAW, and he couldn't find nobody to watch me. He was like, okay, you're going to come with me and you're going to sit here. I said, okay. I'm thinking I'm going to be in the crowd. Nope. I was literally at the bar to the point where, like, he can keep an eye on me and watch me and Rouse at the same time. I said, oh, my gosh. And then, so I wasn't supposed to be there because I was on the age. So when the camera panned towards the bar, they saw me. I said, okay. And my dad said, he said, you must have scared. I said, yeah.
Look old, man. Look old. Look 21, DJ. Look 21.
I couldn't do it. But literally, like, KAW like that literally got me the style that I'm at now. And like I say, even though it's back in those years, I still watch it now. That's the thing. And get ideas and stuff like that. Like I found like a very old one with my dad and Tim White. I said, how did I find this on YouTube? And I'm like, huh? I said, okay. I said, it must have been Buster doing this again because I keep finding like some old matches. I said, man, but my favorite KAW match was y'all was at the women's prison.
Oh, yeah, I think that's all of our favorites, man.
Yeah, because I said, they had a women's prison and it was live. I said, oh my God, it was very good though.
Man, those women were off the charts. I mean, obviously you're in prison, so you got a captive audience there, but man, they gave those women a lot more freedom that night than I figured they normally would at a prison. Man, those girls had so much fun that night. We did too. They were so hot and lively that I mean, there was an energy transfer going back and forth between those ladies and the guys. And I think it's one of my favorite KAW shows that we did too, man. I don't recall. There's been other shows in penitentiaries, but I ain't never recalled one in a women's penitentiary.
Yeah, because I'm still trying to figure out how did he pull that off? I said, man, because it was another company that tried to do the same thing, did not work. I said, I don't know how I don't know how Terry pulled that off. I said, boy, but that was, whew. I said, I don't know how he did it, but he did it. So I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I don't know how he pulled it off either, man. Especially a KAW show, man. I mean, everybody was rowdy at that time, doing different things. I mean, it was a rowdy atmosphere, but it was a blast, man. It was one of my favorite shows. And so let me ask you this, DJ. What year did you actually break in the business and what age?
Well, actually working or ref?
Yeah, well, even let's start with reffing, because once you're reffing, I mean, obviously you, I mean, I'm sure you've been playing in the ring since the first time Danny took you to a show, especially if you went to Osceola, where all the kids played in the ring.
Oh man, the age was literally like at 16 at that time, but nobody really didn't know because there was a time I was reffing and I only ref on one match, and that was it. And at that time, that's how I was learning a little bit more about the business, and also behind the scenes as well. I was learning a lot at that time, so I was like, and I was very grateful for that. But everybody always dogs me about, oh, because your father, your second generation, they say I have a silver spoon in my mouth. I'm like, y'all really do not understand. They don't understand how like the pressure it is to be under a legend like that in the Mid-South, and then especially like his charisma, my skills, the whole nine, and then they expect me to have the same thing plus more. And I tell them like I'm trying my best, but like I say, he got me at some level, I got him at some level. But when me and my dad is a tag team, it's like, oh man, because most people really hate to see us coming, especially as a tag team. So
yeah, I seen y'all do some tagging on Memphis Wrestling, but I also seen you guys live at TIWF one night. If I'm thinking right, y'all tagged up at TIWF a few years ago.
Yeah, we did at that point, and that's when we worked still cross at that time, I think. So that's when, okay. So my dad is not a spot monkey. I'm point that out to you right now, okay?
Right.
So my dad not a spot monkey. So
what's up, Mark?
So I just called all those spots to my dad, and I was in the corner, and I told my dad, and he actually listened to me, which I was shocked that he did. And I was like, Pops, come here. He was like, what? I said, come here for a second. All right, what? I said, okay, I'll just do this one move and let it marinate. Okay. And then it got over. It got a pop. I said, okay, cool. He was like, oh, that was good. I said, yes, now do this one. Okay. And he got over again. Okay, now I said, now you finna do the international. Then therefore the other guy gonna come in and do the exact same thing. Got a pop and got over. He was like, what? I said, yes. Yep. So now we finna get the other stuff. I said, now cut him off, rinse him, tag me in. And then we just went from there. He was like, oh my God. He was like, that was so much easier. But now he's, like I said, now he's trying to get back in it, but it's like, okay. He just really enjoyed pretty much watching me do my thing and stuff like that and support me from far out. So,
well, let me ask you this, DJ.
Yes, sir.
Did your dad train you, or did he kind of? I know he trained you some, surely, or did he send you somewhere else to be trained by somebody else?
No. To be completely honest with you, and everybody that's watching, and my dad can contest to this, nope. He did not train me at all. It was a gift. So, like when I told you I was studying when I was a kid at that time, I never got in the ring to get fully trained. So it was like this one hot Saturday. It was very hot in Milton. He found the ring and we went over spots. I just thought he would train me. We were going over spots. So when I graduated, we did the exact same spots, but that was like a year. I'm like, I don't remember them. He said, you better figure it out. I said, okay. So I remembered the spots and stuff, and it went well. Okay, he was like, okay, if you do good, you don't have to wear a mask. If you don't, you have to wear a mask. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, okay. So, but a lot of people thought like, I said, no, I never, because I tell people I never got trained. They're like, how you get that good? I be studying and stuff like that. And like, when I went to SOAR in Dallas, Texas, I was going to Mo's wrestling school there and train when I was there. So I get learn from there, and now I'm at Rodney Jazz. They got a wrestling school in San Antonio. They got 2 locations, which I go there. Now I go there now and train as well when I go there. And when I have like a couple of days after the show, I go there and train with them and stuff like that. So it's like I'm learning and going like I've been doing for the longest. So, and like I say, you can't stop learning because a lot of people like, if you stop learning, you might well be done. I said, well, I got a lot to learn still. So,
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because here's the thing. A lot of guys, once they start actively wrestling, they don't go train no more. And you still have to go show up at places and train to get better, like you said. I mean, if nothing else, it gets it makes sure your cardio's better. But I mean, you get better the more you train. If you add working and training, and here's the thing, I know back 35 years ago when wrestlers were working 5 and 6 days a week, you didn't have time to train. You were training every single night as you were wrestling.
right.
You know what I mean? But nowadays, the shows aren't really abundant like that, especially around the Memphis Mid-South area. I mean, honestly, we're lucky around here right now if guys can work 3 nights a week. Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday some places, or maybe one weeknight show somewhere, Wednesday or something somewhere. So especially nowadays when you're only getting to work a couple of times a week, you definitely, any chance you get to get in the ring and train and hone your craft a little bit better, learn new stuff, at least practice new stuff before you try to do it in front of the audience. You know what I mean? These guys need to do it. And for a guy like you, here's the thing. I feel like it was in your blood, man. I feel like wrestling was in your blood. You talk about not really being trained, but you grew up around it. You grew up watching. I mean, you grew up watching some of the best wrestlers around the Mid-South area, bar none. And I feel like you absorbed a lot of that, man. And here's the thing. You touched on it earlier about the pressure of living up to your dad's shadow. Let's talk about that for a second. Did you ever, was the pressure, was it ever to the point where you felt like it was just too much? Because obviously around this area, everybody knows Danny B. Like you said, Danny B's got more charisma than 10 other guys at one time. There's no doubt about that. He is the only guy I ever seen that could dance out of the dressing room, around the ring with the fans, dance up the steps, through the ropes, and never miss a beat, man. Never miss a beat. So talk to me about that. Was it? Did you ever feel like, man, this is just too much pressure?
At that time, I was like, I got him. But as far as my career goes, I was like, because at one point I was doubting myself. When I get home, I was doubting myself. I'm like, this is like entirely too much. And then when I talked to him about it, he was like, dude, he's like, you fine, man. Like, you're not gonna be like me. You have to be like yourself. Be yourself, and trust me, believe me, you will be perfectly fine. I'm like, okay, all right, Pops, I got you. Then from that point on, I'm like, yeah, he was right. But again, like I say, it's a lot of pressure, because it's like states that I know my dad never went to. Like when I went to Massachusetts, the promoter knew my dad. I'm like, oh my God. And then I called my dad and cussed him out in a good way. I'm like, I said, how do this man know your name? I was like, where you at? I said, Massachusetts. Ah, man, Brown. Man, I'm everywhere, man. I said, dude, every state I go, my dad's name pop up at least one time. Either the promoter or a worker. I'm like, man. So every time I hear that knew my dad, I'm like, well, I got to step it up someday. I'm like, okay. So, like I said, it's like a lot of pressure. And back to what you said about guys like start wrestling and stop training, I'm like, that's their mentality. Like, you have to keep training regardless on where you at. You got titles, no titles, doesn't matter where. You have to continue to train to get better and stuff like that. And then if you really want to test yourself, just because I did it too, you want to test yourself, go to a whole new state out north and wrestle some of them guys and then see where you at, because I always want to wrestle someone better than me just to see exactly where I'm at. And I had two guys in Texas. One of them, he was Izzy James, because he's the NWA Texas heavyweight champion, okay? Man, he gave me a run for my money. I said, whew, yep, time to get back in the gym and get in training, because I said, oh my God. He ran circles around me, but last month I got him. But like I say, I like working different guys, learning and stuff like that, learning my craft, learning how to be walk and talk, learning like be like like the hot spots, remembering scripts and all that stuff. So I'm like, whew. But then another one is like now I'm learning how to wrestle TV wrestling, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because that's totally different. Because I learned that from Rodney. He said you can wrestle indie, but you got to work on your TV wrestling. I'm like, huh?
You got to be where you need to be in those cameras, right, man, at the right time.
Yep. So the Soda Pop, the guy that I got rid of, basically character gone, he's a TV wrestler. He's a TV wrestler. I'm an indie wrestler. So we wrestle each other. It very clash together, like Rodney said. It clash together to the point where it's like we know that he can't wrestle. Soda Pop can't wrestle as an indie and stuff like that. But I learned now how to wrestle TV wrestling and indie wrestling at the same time. And I put it together, and they were like, dang, you that good? I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, I don't do nothing. But I know what to do. I worked the hard camera and 2 Roman cameras and worked the crowd at the same time. And I'm like, and that's a lot of work. Because that's when I learned that as TSW. And I had to learn to work the cameras and everything. I'm like, yeah.
And here's something I don't think people realize about. I would assume most people think working TV is probably harder, way more pressure. Honestly, once you get used to working TV matches are usually a lot of times way more simpler than what you're going to do out at a house show somewhere. Right. You know, the pressure is just being on TV and hitting all those cues you need to hit and be where you need to be. The actual match itself, if you go to watching them, a lot of times they're simple matches. You just got to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Where when you're in a house show somewhere, you got 20 minutes if you want it sometimes, whatever you want time. You got plenty of time to really work your match, draw your crowd in slow. Where on TV, it's boom, boom, boom. A lot of times you don't have that time to really set up everything like you do at a house show. Right. But for me, TV was always simpler. Other than the pressure of it's TV. Everybody's watching live right now. Back in the day, you do Channel 5 live right then. You screwed up. It was just out there for the world to see. There wasn't no takebacks.
No, because like I say, that's how I learned. Because like I say, I'm learning from Ronnie and Jazz because they were like, 5 minutes TV is totally different than 5 minutes in indie. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, because 5 minutes is a long time TV, because that means you have to boom, boom, boom. You can sell, but you can't sell too long. Boom, right. Boom, boom, get up, go, 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 go. And your agent will tell you they need you to hit this spot at this time, and the finish you need to be like this and very crisp. It has to be that. If it's not, then we don't want to use you and stuff like that. And
yeah, there's a lot going on there, man. And I'm glad you said agent, because you know I think about this all the time. Obviously, you're used to hearing the word agent for big time wrestling, but there's a lot of wrestling around this area that I felt like if there was a couple of guys in the back with experience, that they could help these guys make their matches better. Not really. A lot I see around here is more about guys needing to learn how to put their match together and where to put certain things to get the maximum effect out of them. You know, and not just go in there and expect, well, we're going to do this spot, this spot, this spot. All them spots are fine, but maybe we start out here and we work to this spot, and then that leads us to this spot over here. If you position those things in the right spots, the audience understands it better. The story is a lot clearer. And I know it sounds stupid, but I feel like it wouldn't hurt for a lot of these little companies around here to have some experienced guys in the back agenting these guys, these young guys, matches and working with them and helping them.
Right. It's nothing, honestly, I agree with you on that. It's nothing wrong with that, but you have like certain guys that like don't want to listen. It's like, okay, I'm like, that's fine. Like, hey, but this will help you because like now you're not coachable. So that means nobody gonna want to work with you because you're not coachable. No promoter gonna work you because you're not coachable and stuff like that. And like with me, when I'm at a show or whatever, I'm humble, so I'm quiet. I'm really not gonna say nothing back. If you come to me and ask me for help, okay, I will help you. But I'm not gonna come in and just, hey, nah, they don't look right. I need you. Y'all should do this and this and this. But because I don't know what kind of story y'all trying to tell, because now I go to a lot of shows and stuff like that just to sit and watch and support. I'm like, a lot of these shows do not have stories and stuff like that. And I can tell they were just calling stuff just to make themselves look good, to have the little highlight reel, but they forgot.
Just to pop the crowd.
Yeah, that's it. And then where they fail to realize they only clapping because the match is over with, and then they realize it was horrible. I witnessed it so much. I'm like, y'all forgot. That's it. But it's like, hey, it's fine. Like, you got to learn somehow. But if you're not coachable and stuff like that and don't want to listen, then, hey, you're going to have like a long career and nobody will want to work with you.
Look, chances. Go ahead, Danny. Finish.
Yeah, because literally, that was me at one point in time. That's why I can say that, because that was me at one point in time. But my uncles got me in check in the corner. They're like, bro, I don't care who you are, who your dad is. You're going to listen. If not, you know what's going to happen. Outside, I'm like, I'm okay, because I'm smart and I love it. So from that point on, it's like, yeah. And literally, like I say, he was up here. He just come in. Chris Lex was like literally like one of them too. So he was one of the uncles too that literally like helped me and stuff like that. That's where I got my chops from. So
hey, Lex is, in my opinion, he's one of the most underrated guys around our area. I'm just gonna say it like that. The dude, I don't see how Chris Lex is not a main player around this area, period. Like in any of the companies, man, he's got the experience, he's got the look, he's got the charisma, he can talk, he's got that gift of gab. Everything.
Nobody never like want to give this man a chance and stuff like that and give him his flowers, because he does. I can attest to this and witness it. He does a lot behind the scenes things and stuff like that. That's what people don't understand. If you need a ring, he can find you a ring. If you need help set up, he'll help set up. Need to find a building, he'll do that. Bring his family and stuff like that. You know, make a show and stuff like that. Because honestly, without his family and stuff like that, and him as well, you're gonna have like a hard, tough crowd and show and stuff like that. And like I said, there's like one guy, there was one of the underrated stars that's there in the Mid-South. And like I said, I don't know why he didn't, nobody gave him a chance and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure if he got that one opportunity, I'm pretty sure he would have been gone like a long time ago. But everybody want to be for themselves at that time.
And Chris is an unselfish guy, like you said. He's willing to help other guys get better in the business. A lot of guys aren't like that. A lot of guys have been doing this 15, 20 years. They're like, fuck all these young kids. I ain't going to waste my time on them. They're selfish. Chris, I hadn't never seen that out of Chris. I've never seen him being selfish. And here's the thing. He's in Memphis Wrestling now. I'm hoping that they see what I see in Chris Lex, because I 100 believe Chris Lex could be the guy around Memphis, Tennessee. He could, he could be the face of Memphis, Tennessee wrestling, of wrestling anywhere in around the Memphis area. And I'm hoping he'll finally get his break that he deserves, man.
Good. He is like one of the faces that's in the Mid-South. That's the thing. But he stays there a little bit, or just a little bit longer, hangs in a little bit longer. He's going to get that one chance and that one shot.
That's what I'm hoping for. Look, KG Gaming's back with K and J Gaming. I don't know why I want to say G. He says, DJ, who are some of the underrated guys in the Mid South area in your opinion?
In my opinion, like I said, you had Chris Litz. That's like the top one. Then you go down to the hills. You have Big Ace. Then you have, what is that? Kevin Bless. He's like a little, like a cry through of the guys that's like underrated and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. And then some of the guys, they say they're underrated, but y'all not underrated. Y'all just want stuff handed out to them, in which there's this is type of game that you don't want and stuff like that. But I just named those top three that I know for sure that's like really underrated and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there's some more, but you can't name them all.
So look, we got a young man on here, man, young in the business, but I'm going to say it straightforward. Now, he's still young, and he's not as green as you would think he is whatsoever for his time in the business. He's been doing this since he was a kid. And I seen you. Are you two guys? Have y'all got a match coming up? You and JT Williams. Are y'all gonna be facing each other?
So here's the thing, okay. So I had a show in Decatur, Tennessee, like last month or so for NWA JCP. So I had a show there, okay. So that Saturday, I think. I went to one of his shows at SPW, that's Auburn, Tennessee. He was wrestling. I was like, he remembered me. I said, okay. So I watched this match. I was like, I said, okay, all right, got you. So me like a man that I am and stuff, and I like helping people and stuff like that. So what I did was, as a man and stuff like that, Allen got a show coming up September 13th in Memphis, Tennessee. Right. So I said,
that's the Cooper Young show, right?
Right, yes. So I got booked on there and stuff like that. So I said, okay, cool. And I talked to JT Williams and stuff like that. I said, hey, message Allen Steele, send him your stuff and stuff like that. I said, okay. He did. And I asked Al, I said, did he send you your stuff? He's like, yeah, he's good. I said, all right, got you. So now I'm working him. I said, okay, because like I said, I get in about a shot and a chance, as you can see. So like, yeah, I'm working him September 13th. And then not only that same night, he wrestling on my promotion with my other partner, which is her show, which I'm helping with. That's in Forest City as well. So, but he's still on here talking about it. I'm like, okay. But like I say,
how much have you actually seen JT's work?
I saw him work like 4 times. So now I saw him work. So now I want to get in the ring with him and see exactly what do he knows. And just to see if he even like willing or deserving and stuff like that to be on that other level and stuff like that. So that's me. I'm a hands-on person, like an on-hands-on training and stuff like that. So that's what I do. I get a ring with the guy and say, hey, send your stuff to NWA here, here, and here. No, I get in a ring with them multiple times just to make sure I'm correct. So, like I say, he's talking now, but like I say, September 13th going to be like a totally different ball game. So,
man, I'm going to be honest with you, he is a great young man. I first met him at EIW, and he was a kid. Him and his brother would help clean up around, set chairs up and whatever to get in the ring and play and be trained a little bit. And so he's like you. He's one of these young men who's been around this wrestling business. Truthfully, I would say his whole family goes to wrestling, so I'd say he's probably been around wrestling his whole life. But he's one of these young guys out here that I see so much freaking potential in. He's still growing. He's still filling out. He's going to turn out to be probably I'd say he's probably going to end up being about 6'1" and probably about 220 pounds walking around weight. So he's going to turn out, once he fills out, to be a good-sized young man. And I think, you stepping in the ring with you is going to be a good barometer test for this young man to see where he's really at. You talk about you got to work people better than you to know where you are. I feel like this is JT's match for that. He's going to be working someone better than him, and he's going to find out where he really stands out here in the wrestling world, dude. But he's off the charts, a good kid. If he keeps his head on his shoulders, the sky's the limit for him. I'll be honest with you, DJ.
The sky is the limit. So that's the thing. It's like I said before, like being comfortable. And on top of this, it's not about win or lose. It's about the match itself. How you are in the ring. From the moment you come from that curtain to the moment you go back, we're going to see exactly who you are. Because I can know if you're a funnel, you just want to play wrestler, which sometimes I really hate. But I know this kid, like I say, I know him too. So, like, I know he can go, but I just want to see and make sure that I'm picking, like, the right person to actually help and stuff like that, because I don't want to waste my time on helping someone that really don't want to be helped. But I'm pretty sure he's going to do good, but he's going to look totally different after the match because, like I said,
you going to beat him up, Brown. DJ?
Yeah, he's going to be different. He might be purple. He might be purple when he's done, but like I say, it's number love, that's all. Love and business, that's it. So
look, KG Game is he's put off dream matches he'd like to see you against. One is AJ Gray. Another one was Josh Alexander. But here's the one I want to stop on, Chris Benoit. I know that can't happen, but we were talking, you brought it up. You were talking about that you feel like you lack in promos some. And I think Benoit is a prime example. Think about Benoit's career. He was always known for his in-ring work. And he never got known for, he was not known for cutting a good promo until he made it to the WWF and they got a hold to him. And then if you go back and watch his WWF stuff, you watch them promos, Chris Benoit could cut a promo. It just took him a while for that to evolve out of him. And I feel like you're the same way. I feel like slowly but surely, here's the thing about talking, DJ, just like it is about wrestling. The more you do it in front of people, the more you do it on the microphone, the more you do it on TV, the more comfortable you get, the better you're going to automatically be just by being comfortable in front of the camera and in front of people. And I feel like you're one of these guys. I feel like you're still evolving as a wrestler, and I feel like you probably developed way faster in the ring than a lot of other people, but I feel like it's only a matter of time before the promos match up with the in-ring talent.
Yeah, honestly, it does. Like I said, I'm still working on those promos, but because I know, like I say, with Dog Pound Championship Wrestling in San Antonio, because we have to do pre-takes before our match and post-takes, right? So my pre-takes be like, oh, man, they be like, Jazz, right? Be like, man, you need to get something. But after my match, when I do my post-take, they're like, well, why you do it at the beginning? I'm like, I don't know. It's like after my match, I have like so much drilling, rushing, and everything to the point where my promos be like A1, but like just coming out and talking is like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, we can't use this. So like, and
this is gonna surprise you. You know my brother Sam Dollar.
Yeah,
he's the same way. He's much better after the match. If you want him to cut a promo, get it after he's been out on the floor when his adrenaline's flowing. He can cut them anyway. But he always says, he said, man, it's more natural to me once I come back from the ring, man. It's just, the promos just flow out then. And that's the thing. Like you said, adrenaline's a real thing. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's hard to cut a promo pretense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's easier to cut a promo after the match has happened to talk about what just happened and what you want to happen next or what's going to happen next, because you got that reference to work for. You were just out there. All you got to do is reference what just went on, and this is what I'm going to do next time I see you, and so on. But I agree with that. It's much easier to cut a promo for most people when that adrenaline's flowing and they're excited and they're in that moment.
Yeah, because I know, like I say, NWA, they do a lot of pre-tapes. And I'm like, and they're right there. Like me can't cut those like pre-tapes, like they're gonna like hold me back. But like I say, I'm working on it and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get it and make a lot of people proud. So, and that's what I'm still working on now.
That's the thing about wrestlers, man. Young wrestlers get in the business with a preconceived notion of what they want to be or what they think they are, what they think they are. And then when you get in the ring and you're actively wrestling, so a lot of times you realize that thought you had of yourself in your mind is not really who you are. And over time, if you just get in the ring and hone your craft inside the ring, over time, the gimmick's already in there. It will come out when the time's right. Instead of forcing a gimmick that's not working, just evolve. Learn your craft, evolve, and when the time is right and your confidence is right, the gimmick's already in there. It's already in you, man. And look, no matter what, anytime they give you a chance to do pre-tapes, whether you feel like you're going to suck or not, just do them, because the more you do them, the better you're going to get at them. The more comfortable you get doing them, the better the promo is going to be.
Yeah, I do them because they're like very strict. So I do those pre-tapes and everything. So like I said, I got to do a promo too for September 28th. So I'm like, so I'm working on that now. So it's like my schedule is like very, very busy. This month is very busy. So
look, K and J is back with us, DJ.
I see.
And hey, when we get off the air, you're gonna have to tell me who the hell this is. This dude's a mystery. He's been a mystery. He pops in, and everybody I've had on, nobody knows who he is. So I won't smarten nobody else up. But when we get off the air, you're gonna have to smarten me up.
I'm trying to figure that out too, because I've been seeing him a lot on a lot of stuff. I'm like, because they were like, "Who is K and J Gamer?" I said, I have no idea.
He wants to know who's your favorite to watch around this area.
Around that, where Memphis area, or just the whole area?
I guess just the Mid-South area, Memphis Mid-South area, man.
Whew. It's like I said, it's wow, my student, but it's a lot. You got Chris. I like to watch. Sometimes I like to watch like Ray Sound, even though he's young and stuff like that. I like, honestly, to be completely honest with you, it's not like names. I like watching like young guys and stuff like that that's hungry and just trying to get better and get to like that next other level point that they have not reached yet. And also, my cousin, my dad's cousin and my cousin, MJ Davis, there was our cousin. So I didn't know nothing about him until I met him at a show. And he's like one of the guys that I like watch wrestling too. So in the Mid-South. But like I said, I just like watching like a lot of young ones and stuff like that. So
and MJ's go ahead, Danny.
Nah, you're good. I was just gonna say like entertainment and stuff like that. It was Johnny at one point, but he still is at the time. So I'm like, but like I said, I always watch my uncles and stuff like that. Now I'm looking at the youngest ones that want to get better and stuff like that. So
and MJ, he's a guy who's, from the first time I seen him, all the potential in the world, but it seems like over the past 2 years, MJ's really turned it up around here too. MJ started taking his physique serious, for one thing. MJ has really got serious about making his body, changing his body, making his body look better. And he's just, in the last year for sure, I've seen so much growth in MJ from where I first started watching him probably 5 or 6 years ago, man.
Yeah, so with him, like when I first saw him, he was like real big, like very big. I'm like, dude, why are you so big? But he learned, so he started going to the gym so much, losing weight, and then start hitting the gym and stuff like that, and lift so much. And so that's the first step for him, is like his appearance itself. So he's losing it and getting tone and stuff like that, and get the size that you're comfortable with and that you're happy with. And then come from that and then to your gear and stuff like that. Then from there, now you want to go somewhere. Now, like I say, with me, I'm like, if you want help, okay, I can help you. I would get you there, but you got to do the work for yourself.
Right. So, and cosmetics is people believe what they want, but cosmetics, what you look like is what gets you noticed before anybody even pays attention to how well you can work in the ring.
Right.
If you catch their eye, then they're going to then want to see what you can do in the ring. But it's always really been, it's been that way since the 80s. Cosmetics are really one of the most important parts about getting noticed. Now, if you got great cosmetics and you suck, once they put you on the spot and they see that your cosmetics may not help you. But you can have great cosmetics and be able to just get by in the ring. And if you can just get by and you got charisma and you can talk, we've seen guys make millions of dollars out of being so-so wrestlers, but their persona's just off the charts and they're good at it.
Right. So that's what I always say in practice and preach and stuff like that to younger guys and like my students as well. I try to preach that your appearance itself, is you coming in this building, we're gonna see exactly what you wearing, how you walk and stuff like that, and talk. Are you respectful? Okay, you passed that. So now let's see your gear. Okay, we don't like that, so it's okay. But we still gonna let you try out. But it's like, okay, but we still not gonna do that. You passed that. Now, time to work. Get in the ring. It's like, no. It's like it can go either or, because you can get turned away just by your appearance alone.
Right.
Just by what you wearing. It's like, even though you can wrestle, you very great at wrestling, but your appearance itself is like, nah, we good.
And that's one thing your head always did. It didn't matter what show. It didn't matter if it was 200 degrees in the summertime and we were dressing in either outside or in hot metal sheds or something. Danny always showed up dressed to the T. Danny always showed up dressed to the T. And they got Danny a lot of eyes on him. It just so happened Danny could also go in the ring and he had charisma off the charts. Right. So Danny kind of had the total package. But there's so many guys that show up to wrestling shows honestly looking like dog shit.
Right. You just woke up, you got on some pajamas and a t-shirt. What? And you a wrestler? What? Okay. I don't know nothing about this. So it's like, really, dude? Oh, that's my student.
C-Rex versus DJ Brown versus TJ. So look, K and J Gaming is back, and this is a perfect question for you because I feel like this is somewhere you could really, really make a name for yourself, come back to America and be a star from the get-go. You ever thought about going to Japan? If you had the opportunity, would you go to Japan for a while?
If I had an opportunity, yes, I would go. But that's the thing about me, because I'm honest with myself and my body as well. So I'm like, I would go, but I'm not going to force myself to get to Japan, if that makes sense. It's like, so when I do get that chance to go, I want to be ready. So that way I want to go there, just train and stuff, then come back. Because I see like a lot of guys that does that. So it's like, when I go, I'm going to go and I'm going to stay. And then when I come back, it's like, whoa, you been doing a lot of stuff in Japan. Yeah. So like, I don't force a lot of stuff. I don't force nothing. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. I don't force nothing. Like, I want to get here. I want to get here. I want to get NWA. I want to get to TNA. I want to get here. No. When the time comes, that's fine. Then I know I will be ready. If it don't come, I'm like, okay, I need some work. So when it do come, I'll be ready. That's why I'm like, I want to go to NWA, but like, I'm not ready yet. So therefore, I'm working on myself to get there. So when I do get that email, boom, then I'll be ready to go at that time. But Japan, yes, I would go, but like not forcing and stuff like that. How people does it, so.
Right. I think I mean, honestly, if you ever got the opportunity, I feel like it'd be perfect for you. I feel like if you went to Japan and spent 6 months or a year there, I think when you come, here's the thing: when you come back, you'd be in a whole different echelon on bookings. You would be a star for some reason. And here's the thing about Japanese wrestling now. I don't think it's quite as rough and as rugged as it used to be. From what I see about it, it's a lot more Americanized now than it ever was before.
Yeah, because the actual strong style is gone now to Japan. I hate to sound like that, but it is at that time. So that's why now it's like you can say like it's starting getting watered down, but the actual Japanese guys or whatnot or whatever, Chinese and stuff like that, they going somewhere else in wrestling and show that style and stuff like that, and still getting popular and stuff like that because of strong style. Like Fred Rooster, like one of the coaches there, I did one of his tryouts and stuff like that. He liked my strikes and stuff like that because it looks like I'm killing him, but I'm not. But I can let it in if I want to and stuff like that. So
Right.
he's like, yeah. So that's why like I get like a lot of bookings and stuff like that because, like I say, like my style and like I'm snug and stuff like that. I'm laying everything in. But like I said, I tell people, I'm like, I'm 5'5", 175 pounds. I'm like, what do you expect? He's like, why you always angry? I'm sure, of course, I'm gonna be angry. I'm like, of course, I'm gonna be angry, but I be rational, like really, like big guys, like 6'5", like almost pushing 300 pounds, and they complain about me being snug. I'm like, but I always tell them, like, hey, I'm a little snug. He was like, no problem, but they say no problem because of my size. If I get in there,
Till
it's
after the
totally
match.
different. Right, it's totally
Right.
different. So it's like, oh my gosh. So, but I mean, hey, it's like, hey, it's wrestling. Like I say, you're gonna be safe regardless. Like my student caught that too as well. Well, C Rex, where she's watching, she caught that too. So she was like, But like I say,
So look, we've talked about both of your NWA titles. The one thing we kind of glossed over is this Bluff City Southern Heavyweight Championship. And here's the thing. It's not been that long ago, you and a guy we've talked about a pretty good bit on this show were feuding over that Southern Heavyweight title, Chris Lex. I seen you guys have some knockdown, drag out matches over this Bluff City Southern title. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about becoming the Bluff City Southern Heavyweight Champion, DJ.
oh, that came about. Oh my gosh. Like I say, Chris is the businessman, right? So who have the better way of coming back that haven't been in wrestling so long, which is me, which I had a whole new style at that time. And we had war and stuff like that to the point where his wife and kids actually hated me at that time. For them whole months we did, they hated me. And like I broke a plastic, I literally broke a chair over his back. Like then if I'm like, what the, like, yeah, to the point where like now it's like I'm in here, so I'm aggressive. I'm on you. Ain't nobody gonna get me out for you. So when they emptied the locker room, I got out, but I'm still there. But like working Chris is like doesn't matter, just a singles match, title match, another title match. It's still gonna be a war because he's not gonna hold back at all, which I'm not gonna hold back either. And like I can sit here and say he was like one of my greatest opponents ever. And like I say, if I get a chance to work him again, I would be so happy to work him. Then on top of that, I would literally wrestle him for free. That's how much I appreciate him and stuff like that. Because like I say, it's a lot of learning and growth and stuff like that from him. But like now I'm like, I think I hurt him even worse now. But like I say, it's a war and stuff like that. But we made a lot of headway when we actually start, and then it had to mixed in with Chris Styles. I mean Chris
Steven Styles.
Steven Styles. I'm sorry.
There you go, Steven Styles.
It's been a long weekend. I'm sorry. With Steven Styles. And like I say, Steven, he learned too, and he got a hold on. I got a hold to him too, and it was not pretty at all. So it's like me coming back to the Mid-South and wrestling. It's kind of, I would say it's gonna be kind of hard to find somebody to work me and stuff like that because the first thing they're gonna say, "You working DJ?" Yeah. Oh man, that guy's stiff. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? I'm like, literally, I'm like, you work me, you're gonna have. I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I am. You're gonna have like probably like one of the best matches of your career if you do. But like I said, it's kind of tough and hard to find people to work for me and stuff like that, which I'm very cool with that and I'm very fine with that and stuff like that. So And the only person that willing and will do it, hands down, is either Big Ace or Chris Lex. Them like the only two.
Yeah, man, I seen you guys blister each other's chests. I'm like, shit, I'm glad that wasn't my chest either one of them dudes was hitting. So let me ask you this, DJ.
Yes, sir.
You're a heel now, and you was a babyface for so long. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I love DJ Brown as a heel. I see a whole nother side of you as a heel. You make a great baby face, but
Man.
I feel like your natural attitude. I feel like being a bad guy accentuates your natural attitude, man. It seems to all gel together. Which do you like better, man? Do you like being a good guy or a bad guy?
Whew. Being a baby for 14 years and but I really enjoy being a heel because to me it's like free reign. So I can do and say whatever I want, but keep it PG range depending on what show. I can do whatever I say or whatever. I can do whatever I want. Nobody can't say nothing. So now if somebody say something to me, I can talk back because that's the other me basically. That's the alternate me. So that's the inside me. There we go.
And that's the guy. And here's the thing. I think we all know the guys who make it the biggest in the business, that they make it the business because most of their character, most of their personas is a piece of who they really are in real life.
Right,
whether they're heels or whether they're baby faces. And I feel like when you turned heel, I feel like it kind of opened up the gates. I feel like as a baby face, you were kind of trapped in a perimeter. And I feel like, man, when I seen you turn heel, because I didn't know how it was going to go until after I seen you. And man, once I seen you, man, I think me and my wife were watching you the first time I seen you be heel. And I looked over at her about midway through the match and I said, he's having fun. I said, look at him. You can tell he's enjoying what he's doing right now.
Yeah, because like I say, when I got to Rodney Jazz in San Antonio, they were rather like, I need you to be here. I said, okay. So from that point on, I said, all right, gotcha. So basically, that's me. That's me and 85% of my dad when my dad get angry. So it's like, I'm quiet and humble, but when I get mad, that's how I act, basically. It's like, you can't hold me down. You can't tell me what not to do. It's like, it's a fight. So now I can turn it on and off. So when I go to different shows, they want me as a baby, some want me as a heel. So I can flip the switch on either or. But sometimes I be forgetting to turn off the heel part and it comes out. I'm like, uh-oh. So, right. But like I enjoy being a heel. Honestly, because my dad always told me you have to learn how to be a heel, man. You can't be baby all day. I said, man, whatever.
When is Danny B? I think Danny B probably been a heel maybe 4 or 5 damn times his whole career. He was a perennial, lifelong baby face, man. And I think that's a good dichotomy between you and him. He was such a great baby face, and I see that same thing in you as a heel. I feel like that's your natural. I just feel like you're having fun, and being a heel opens up the gates for you to do what you really want to do. Say the things you really want to say sometimes.
Yeah, because it's like with me and my dad, like we wrestle each other. He's like, I'm just looking at myself in the mirror. But it's the bad side of him that he's looking at, which is me. And that, like, literally people who want to book me against my dad and stuff like that. They're like, when y'all gonna wrestle each other? I don't know. It's like, we never got to the point to like he's the baby, I'm the heel and stuff like that. So it's like we're not gonna get into that unless we know for sure that my dad is actually literally done physically wrestling at that time. And then that's when I hang my boots up and it's like now that's when it's literally gonna happen. Then on top of it, that would literally like draw, but it's like you been disrespectful to that. I don't care. Hey, look here. But it's like we working, so it's like it would be very fun and entertaining because I worked him a crowd of 3 times and he couldn't.
Well, talk to me about that, DJ, because that's That's a cool dichotomy right there.
Yeah.
Y'all been partners and you've worked together. You've also got to work against him in the ring. Just talk about the relationship between you and him inside the ring, man. What's it feel like for you to be working your dad, man? You watched him your whole life growing up, and now you can get in the ring and stand toe to toe with him, man. Talk to me about that for a second.
So okay, so basically it's more like get in there. It's like, oh crap. Back in my head, I'm like, I can't hit my dad. I'm like, that's like so disrespectful. Like, but the front side of my brain, I'm like, nope. I said, he's just another man. He's like, that's your opponent, so you got to. I'm like, okay. I'm like, ah. But it's like, oh my God. I don't like hitting like my dad stuff, but it's like, hey, it is what it is. But I don't throw a punch or a kick unless he throw one first. And then I'm like, oh, so this is what we doing. Okay. So then we just have a little war and stuff like that, and I blow him up, and then that's pretty much it. But like I say, it's like very cool and stuff like that to be in the same ring as your parent and stuff like that, either father or mother and stuff like that. It's very cool and stuff like that. Because I know my dad, he's a businessman. So we in there, it's like, I don't know you, you don't know me. He giving that same speech every time we wrestle each other. He like, hey, we just two different people. I said, all right. I said, okay, say no more. I got you. So what's that? Last year, because Southern Screen Wrestling is in Forest City. So I booked my dad to wrestle on our show and stuff like that, and had him wrestle Alex Alexander that's in Sherwood. So they called it match and stuff like that, and they ran it by me. I said, I don't like that. Take this out, take this out, take this out. And I was like, why are you talking to your dad like that? I said, excuse me? He's like, why are you talking to your dad like that? I said, first of all, I said, he's not my dad right now. I said, he's an employee right now. I said, I literally said, after this show, I said, he's my father, but right now, he's just an employee. He going to listen to what I say. If not, he can leave. He was like, man, you rude. I said, no. I said, this is business right now. And my dad knows. He was like, he's right. I said, yeah. And I told him, do this. And then when they got done, I got on both of them because they messed up. But after that, when the show was over with, we was father and son again, which that's the thing that I love at the time. And I still do. So.
That's cool, man. And here's the deal. I know you got kids too. So you say you're the last hot stepper, but are you really the last hot stepper? Do you believe that? Or do you believe some of your kids will follow in your footsteps and get into the wrestling business in the future?
Honestly, my thing about that is I say I'm the last because I am the last. But I know like my boys and stuff like that, it's like they say they want to be a wrestler. I'm like, I can't stop them from dreaming like that's what they want to do. But I'm like, they're young, and I was at that age too. I'm like, they're young, so I'm like, I'm just gonna wait and see. But if there's something that they really want to do, then it's like, okay, so you got a grandfather and you got a father, so we both gonna try to teach you the right way and stuff like that. But me as a father and stuff like that, I would not want my kids to wrestle at all because I don't know how the wrestling business is gonna be when they grow up and get in the business. I don't know how it's gonna be. And then on top of that, it was tough for me. It's gonna be really tough for them to when they figure out who your father and your grandfather was. It's like, whoa.
Right. That's definitely a lot on somebody's shoulders. But man, look at you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you this: did Danny try to discourage you when you were young from being a wrestler? Like when you were a kid, did you tell your dad, "Hey, I'm gonna be a wrestler just like you when I grow up"?
When I told him, I literally told him that, he said, okay, with a smile, he was happy. And then I got a little bit older. I was like, you know what, Pops? I said, I'm not going to be a wrestler. He was like, okay. But then he didn't even down on me about it or whatnot. So he just literally patiently waited because he already knew that I was going to be one, but he just patiently waited. And then when I started, he said, I knew, because he told me, he said, I knew you were going to be a wrestler. I was just waiting on you. I was like, I said, you suck, man. Like, you gonna be waiting on me for it. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, but like I say, that's the thing that I love even though like with any other sport and stuff like that, you should never pressure your kids and stuff to follow your footsteps. Then you want them to have their own footsteps to follow and stuff like that. It's like my son, he wanted to play soccer for his school. I'm like, okay. He was like, Dad, can you teach me how to, train me on soccer? I said, man, I don't know nothing about soccer. That was in my head, but I'm like, I said, okay, I can help you, be a soccer player. I said, we're gonna do it, but running. So I'm like, okay. So it's like, I don't know nothing about it, but I would try my best at the time because, like I say, kids dream and stuff like that, and everything changes. So.
Hey, it takes a lot of skill to be a good soccer player. If you ever see what some of these people do with that soccer ball, man.
Yeah, so that's why I like, and then I'm like, then you gotta take it. Then they had to go to camp and go to different type of practices and stuff like that, and then you got to go to certain schools that actually have a soccer team.
Right.
So yeah, because like when I came from Helena and I went to Oak Haven High School. Because I wanted to wrestle for the high school, but they didn't have it. I came when they took it away. I said, man, they say the only school they got wrestling is Central High School. I said, well, I'm okay.
I didn't realize they even had wrestling at Central. They didn't have it when I was a kid.
Yeah. It's like some high schools has and some don't because they told me they was like, it wasn't enough students to want to wrestle, so they wanted to having like a wrestling team, and they wanted me. And I said, "Well, that's fine." So, oh my gosh!
So look, MJ Davis he says he swears you ain't never beat him, man. Never beat him anywhere. Is that the truth, DJ?
I can't believe he did that. Oh, yes, that is the truth. Honestly. He's the only person. He's the only one that can literally like say that physically and say it to my face because he beat me in Ford City like in 5 minutes. I said, "Oh Lord," and he been holding over my head ever since. But I swear, if you book me against MJ's not gonna show up.
Oh, we getting there. He gonna make sure he holds that victory over your head for life.
Yep, that one victory. He already told me. He said, "I'm not wrestling you no more after this."
No, that's it. It'll always be 1-0, DJ.
Yep, because I had work. Oh, gosh, I worked a show in Jackson, Tennessee, wrestling. I can't get the what's the name right. So they had me going against MJ. And MJ like, oh no, I'm finna go home. I was like, I said, but then they switched the card and I had to work Mike Mayo. I said, oh wow. And he was so happy. I said, dude, you so lucky, man. But yeah, he gonna hold that one victory over my head. I said, dude, see?
He pulling the into the Rocky on you. Ain't gonna be no rematch, and you don't want one either, man.
But he better be careful because I can show up. Now it's just like honestly, I just can show up. I can come to 901 if I want to. So he better be very, very careful what he say because, like I say, he's doing my dad show October 25th, 26th, and I can switch the car if I want to, but I'm not gonna do it.
You just made a statement talking about 901. I'm glad you said that because I had this thought in my mind. I was going to ask you about this because you are the only guy, I think, around here. There's a lot of guys. MJ wrestles at a lot of different places, but you seem to be the only guy that pops up at different times. Every single company around here, from Memphis Wrestling to every other company, you seem to be the one guy who's able to interlope from company to company kind of as you want to. What's behind that, DJ? Why do you think that you're able to do that, man?
Now you're gonna put a target on my head. That's okay. That's fine.
No, I think it's cool, man. And to be honest with you, before you even start, my opinion is it goes back to the intro. You don't play politics and you don't kiss ass. You come there and you handle business.
That's the thing. It's like that's the whole thing. Like I said, I don't do politics and stuff. I know politics. I don't do politics or kiss people ass and stuff like that. So it all started when I did VCA, when I very first broke in and stuff, and they told me I could not go here. I'm like, Says who? I'm like,
Right.
you can't tell me what I can't do. I'm like, bro. But I did it anyway and stuff like that. And then they let me go. I said, okay. So now I got you. So from that point on, I'm like, you know what? Nobody's not gonna tell me where I can and can't wrestle. Unless you got me on a contract and like I say, the money talks, and then like you paying my bills, I'm like, hey, I can stay here all day long. But until then, I'm like, So it's like that's what that part came about, and I've been doing that like literally like ever since. Unless the promoter come to me like a man and stuff like that, or a woman, because you got woman promoters too. They come and be like, hey, I need to talk to you. Okay. And then they lay it out and say, hey, you can't wrestle 90 miles or whatever from our company, stuff like that. Now we can talk and stuff like that. And I will understand that and be respectful of that. It's how you talk to people and stuff like that. And you get a different reaction every single time. Because I got certain promotions tell me the same thing, like, hey, you can't wrestle nowhere near here, around here, or anything like that. Like, more like 90 miles from us and stuff like that, which I understand that, and that's perfectly fine because they were professional about it and stuff like that. So, but 901 is the only show I never wrestled for in Memphis. That's the only show I never wrestled for. I tried, but he was like really booked up like that whole year and stuff like that. So I said, okay, that's fine. So like I said, it wasn't my time to come in at that time. So I said, okay, cool. I can wait. That's fine. But that's the only company I never wrestled for in Memphis.
Yeah, I felt like I've seen you at different times in every single company around here.
Yeah.
And that's a unique trait, especially around this area where everything is so company versus company and this and that, talent versus talent. If you work at a different company, there's other guys. Like I said, MJ works at several different places, but those are all places that kind of work together and use a lot of that same talent, maybe, where some of these other companies that don't do that, it's always been a thing, man. They don't want you working nowhere else. And I'm like you. Pay me enough where it's worth me not working somewhere else. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. If you're paying me, it goes back to Lawler and them. Back in the day, if you were making $100 a night for Lawler and they were working you 5, 6, 7 nights a week, and somebody tried to book you over here for $300, but Lawler and them for one night, but Lawler and them didn't want you to work there. I mean, what are you going to do? Lawler and them, you get to work there every week, every month, make this $500, $600, $700 week after week. Are you going to give that up for this one $300 night payday? Most guys aren't, because most guys looking at their future. That one $300 is going to come and go and be gone. But this booking over here, back in the day, I mean, it lasts forever until they're ready to move you out and bring somebody new in. And that's what I don't think guys understand around here. If you want to control talent in the wrestling business, pay them. You got to pay them enough to be able. You don't even have to then, if you pay them enough, you don't even have to most of the time tell them, no, you can't go here, because they already know. They don't want to jeopardize what they've got here to go over here for one night.
Right. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. So I'm like, but everybody is different and stuff like that. So, because like right now, it's like, I don't try to bust people's head about like a lot of money. It's just like, now I'm like a little something, and I'm here to like help people and stuff like that. And I don't want to like come and work like big name people and stuff like that. Big name guys, that's great, but like I rather work somebody under or right there so I can like teach and help them and stuff like that to get better and stuff like that. Because I only had, let me see, I had one big name guy that I wrestled my whole career and everything. So I was very excited about that, which that was Alex Hammerstone at the time. And Dallas, Texas, I wrestled him. I was like, oh my gosh. And that story right there will amaze you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. So, but that story, that's when I was sore heavyweight champion at the time. And that's when COVID was around, like very badly.
Right.
And during the whole set up and all that stuff, I was start getting dizzy. I was getting like too hot and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what was going on. So I was in the back the whole night. I drank literally like a whole case of water by myself in the corner. Dude, I was like, I'm so dehydrated. But I had a match to do. And I know how Mo gets. He don't like counseling and stuff. So I'm like, oh my God. And I wrestled Hammerstone. But the thing I liked about him was he was like, you know what, DJ? You call the beginning, I'm gonna call the middle, and we both gonna go with the end. I said, all right, cool. And we went like that as a team. And that was the best match of the night. While I was sick and like dehydrated, I was like, oh my gosh. And then after I got done with all that, and then I took a COVID test, I said, man, I got COVID. I said, oh gosh. And I wrestled being like sick and stuff like that. But other than that, like he was like the only one that like wrestle and stuff like that. So
look, and I hope I get this name right. Cecilia Evans Giles or Gills says the rule of the ring: pin me, pay me.
She learned. Oh my God.
That is the rule of the ring, man.
Yeah. She learned. Oh my God. She learned that from Congo. She learned that from Congo. I said, oh my God, because he says that all the time. Be like, I don't care about the guy, I don't care about the company, pin me, pay me. What the? I'm like, what? She was like, hey, that's what it is. And she been saying that ever since. I was like, okay.
So look, Jet Hero's with us. Jet, I know you're a little lighter after last night, man. I hate that for you, dude, but I know you're no longer the PKAW heavyweight champion, but Jet says he owes you a good stiff punch, DJ.
He might do, but hey, if you hit me like that, it's gonna be the exact same thing, but even worse. That was just one punch. That's all, man. You'll be all right. He got off his teeth, I think. So.
Oh, I think he needs to miss. I think he needs to be missing a few, DJ. I think Jet would look a whole lot better if he had at least 3 of his front teeth gone, man.
Yeah. Like my student said, sorry but not sorry, but you'll be all right.
So look, DJ, we're getting ready to shut it down. We've already been going an hour and 40 minutes. It flew by. But I got a couple of questions for you before you get out of here. One, okay, man, we've talked about Japan. NXT comes calling. Are you up for that?
NXT?
WWE comes calling, wants to put you in NXT with a developmental deal, man.
Yeah, but I really had to sit and think about that one. So it's like I said, I had to think about it very carefully and stuff like that. So if it come calling, okay, gotcha, and stuff like that. So when I do go, I just do my best. So.
Well, let me ask you that. What is your apprehensions? If they did come calling, you got a phone call, said, hey, we've been watching you. We've watched your NWA stuff. And Rodney Mack, it ain't like he don't have those connections too. We want to give you a shot. We'd like for you to come down, do a tryout, and if everything goes right, we'd like to offer you a developmental deal. What would be your apprehensions not to jump at that, DJ?
As far as like the time, it's like the time and days and stuff like that. It's like how long? It's like okay, how long am I really going to be gone at the time? Because right now I can control it now, like spend time with my kids and stuff like that, so they growing up and stuff like that. So that's like one of my biggest things. That's why I say I'm not rushing into like a lot of stuff because of my kids and stuff like that. Because I want to see them like grow up and stuff like that. So it's like, how long will I be gone? I'm like literally asking like a lot of important questions and stuff like that. So, because a lot of people don't ask a lot of questions about stuff. They're like, okay, sure. It's just like a prime example, the WWEID contract. Nobody's reading, nobody asks questions about it. You just jump and sign your name on something, then now you can't do nothing. It's like, what? So it's like, but me, I'm gonna ask a lot of questions and stuff like that. And
let's be honest. You're not an 18-year-old kid that has no responsibilities. What are you now, DJ? Mid-30s?
Almost. Yep, mid-30s.
So almost give me a number, man. You ain't
Oh,
no, hey, you can't be like no girl, man. Not get all shy about your age, dude.
now I'm like literally like I'm 34. So
That's what
it's
I
like,
thought.
yeah, so it's very weird and crazy. So like if I don't get my hair cut, I literally be my age actually. But if I get my hair cut and wear glasses, everybody literally think I'm like 15 to 16. I'm like, okay, I appreciate it. But I'm like very older and kind of wise. So, but everybody think I'm very young and still in high school. I'm like, I've been in high school for like 15 years, man. I'm like, I don't think that's good.
Jake's with us. Jake, I appreciate it, dude. You're unassuming, man. You kind of like our version of wrestling's Clark Kent almost. You show up with the glasses. Nobody really think, if they don't know you and that never seen you work, very unassuming. Who is this little guy here? Until they see you work. And here's the
No.
thing. Here's the thing about that. When you work, your size disappears. If you like, let's take Rey Mysterio for instance. If they want you to know, if the storyline's about he's so small going against this giant, then they'll accentuate that. But when they don't want to do that, Ray, when he gets in the ring working, you forget that he's as small as he is. He can be working a giant, and you're the same way. Once you're in the ring, your work, you forget all about that. DJ's 5'7", 5'10",
Mm-hmm.
180 pounds. You forget all about that. But it's the way you work. You work a hell of a lot bigger than you are.
Yeah, so I got two stories on that one. The first one, I had like she was my like one of my best favorite fans and stuff like that. So she know who I look and stuff like that. So I was like, okay. And I was in the lobby and stuff in America, and I had my glasses on. She was like, "Did you wrestle?" I'm like, "Yes." Then I took my glasses off. I was like, "Oh, it is you." I said, "Yes." I said, "She was like, I didn't know that was you." I said, "It was just the glasses." She was like, "Ah, okay." I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's okay." And then the other one, the last one, when my cousin they came to my show in Arizona, and the little boy, my auntie, the little boy, my little cousin, he was talking to me. I had on like my clothes and stuff like that, and we was talking. Okay, then when I came out there, and he asked her, he was like, "That's your nephew?" She was like, "Yeah, that's my nephew." He was like, "He look bigger." I said, "Oh Lord," and she told me that after the show. Yeah, he said you look bigger. I said, "Yeah." I said, I tell people, I said, "Don't underestimate me because I have on clothes." I said, I'm bigger than what I look. It's just the clothes, man. So, but
That's a great asset to have in the wrestling business, man.
yeah, so
When you can make people forget, when you can be in there with a giant and make people forget that you're not a giant and draw them into that match, there's very few smaller guys who can do that. Very
yeah,
few.
just like my student Cecilia, she pointed out one of them. It was actually true. So me and her went to a Jerry Lynn seminar in Tennessee in the boonies, right? So when we got there, it was guys and girls there. They looked at us like, "Oh my gosh, he's short and she's fat. They don't know nothing." I So nobody wanted to pair with us to have a 5-minute match. So okay, whatever. So we end up working each other and stuff like that. The best match, then the little on the seminar with tryout. And so Jerry Lynn, because he was supposed to went back to Minnesota to check on his wife because she was sick at the time. So he came back to the show that night and asked us would we wrestling on the show. And we told him we wasn't working because it was already booked. And he said, "Oh, okay." And then he left and went back to Minnesota because he wanted to see us wrestle because we did a very great job at that time. But it was going back to people, underestimate people about how they look and stuff like that. And
Right.
then they realized like who we really were. They were like, "Oh my gosh." Like then they was trying to talk to us and get booked. I'm like, "Nah, we okay."
And there's always that preconceived notion of your appearance. I mean, you've known me since you was a kid. I always been a fat dude. But people's opinions of me always changed once they either seen me in the ring or stepped in the ring with me.
Right.
After that, it changed, and you know, we talked about it. This business is cosmetic, obviously. That's what gets you noticed, and it can play a huge part in getting you somewhere. But at the end of the day, you still got to step in that ring and be able to do this shit.
Yeah, because it's like even like I hate to go say this, but like even like females like cosplay, you look great. Get in there. Oh my gosh, what did I sign? I don't know what to tell you. Back to the center you go, or back to training. So it's like it's that type of thing. So it's like don't just go off just your looks. You have to have a look and perform at the exact same time.
Right. You need the package.
Oh yeah, you need everything. Cause back then it's like they're like how back then with y'all is like what you know and stuff and all that. But now it's like who you know, so you know who, okay, and they tell you exactly what you need to do, and they literally give you the blueprint in your hand, and you still drop it. Like what? And you still drop the ball. I'm like, yeah. I said that's not good. So, but
So, one last question before we get out of here, DJ. Are you do you prefer to call everything in the back, or are you a call it in the ring guy? I know you can do both, but what what do you prefer? Because I know what your dad preferred.
yeah, honestly, I prefer like 100%. It's like call it in the ring.
That's what I
So
figured.
that's my thing. Like call it in the ring. So yeah, I can do both, but it's like I don't want to have a headache and try to remember all this stuff. But I'm like, so again, like once again, this guy Dante Smiley, that's in Dallas, Texas. We worked for the very first time. He comes to me and tell me, hey, we're gonna do this, this, and this. I said, nope, we're not doing none of that. He was like, what? I said, we're not doing none of it, brother. He was like, so I don't know what you need to go do. I said, we're not doing it. He was like, man, like, yep. So he went back and got his mind right. And I ain't see him or talk to him at all until we got in the ring. And Dexter showed me exactly where you at. And I'm like, he's not there. And then there was, he fell that one. Then there was another one where we called the whole match in the back, right? Got out there, I changed everything. And they were like, what? They were like, what? I said, listen to the crowd. They want something different. Like
you know you can't do that to some of these new guys, DJ. You can't do that.
I do it because like you don't hear these like they don't want this. Do they want something else? Give them something simple. I'm like, it just like before I get out, it's just like the analogy of like you eating a hamburger, right? If you eat it too fast, you're gonna have heartburn. You're gonna be stuck in the throat and the chest. But you eat it slow and take your time and taste it, it'll go down a lot smoother. Now in wrestling, you do all these hot spots so quickly, the fans cannot digest the first one, and now you're done with the match. But
the fans are the boss,
right? So you do one simple move and let that digest, then they're gonna be so happy and stuff like that. And I'm like, I had the best match. Yeah, cause you saw pretty much every move and stuff like that. Everybody moving, character, and everything.
Yeah. So look, K and J, we're gonna do this question. He wants to know, who would you like to work in WWE or AEW or both? Is there any certain guy in each company that would be a dream match for you, DJ?
Oh, I had my dream match already. No, I didn't have it, but I posted it like years ago. It was with against Jeff Hardy for some obvious reason. I said, oh my god, like literally like that there was like my dream match at the time. I even tried to get that book in Forest City, but we couldn't get it. So I was like, oh man. And then like when I was doing work for TNA, I got a chance to meet him and Matt. I said, oh my god, I felt like a kid at a candy store. I said, oh man, they were so cool. Right. And stuff like that. So yeah, he was like, I said that's my dream match, like overall. So
right. Jake, I'll give it a listen, man. When I get off here, I'll check it out. DJ, we're gonna wrap it up, but before we do you got anything you want to promote? Any matches coming up, any social media where promoters or even fans can get in touch with you about bookings or anything?
Yeah, so I got, like I said, I'm booked up like this whole September. So September 13th, I'll be in Memphis, Tennessee. I forgot exactly where the location is at. And also September 13th, Southern Screen Wrestling is in Forest City. And then from there point on, September 20th, I'll be in Tennessee. That's OBION for SPW.
O'Bine.
O'Bine, gotcha.
O'Bine, yeah.
For some odd reason, I couldn't get it. O'Bine. And
Well,
then
hell, where are y'all gonna be at? Cause I'm like 30 minutes from O'Bine County, man, maybe less.
I probably got to tell you the address because it took me a minute to find it myself. So
You do that, man. You get the address, send it to me, man. I may show up and holler at you or something.
Okay, I got you. Then September 26th, I'll be in Flagstaff, Arizona for AWWA at that one. And then September 28th, NWA Texas Dog Pound Championship Wrestling in San Antonio, Texas. And like you can follow me on Instagram at DJ_Brown111 or on Facebook, Danny Brown Jr., which that's my government name as well. So yeah, so I'm getting my YouTube channel, get my YouTube channel up and running like I did at first. So, whoo-wee.
So look, Danny, we had a couple more questions pop in. Let me look so I don't miss nothing.
They try to make it
all right, Jake Hudson's back with us. He says, DJ, would you ever work for Memphis Wrestling, Dustin Starr? Would you've worked for Memphis Wrestling? You and your dad a couple of years ago, y'all had a big long thing with Memphis Wrestling, didn't you?
Yeah, so I started wrestling when Dustin first started wrestling for Memphis Wrestling. I was there for a while. And then I had other stuff come up, and then my dad brought me back as a tag team and stuff like that. But I think the question is, will I go back? Yes, I would go back. I would. If Dustin called me right now, asked me to come to Memphis Wrestling, what's that, next month or so, I would go back and be like, stuff like that. I would go back and work and stuff like that because I want to go back anyway because he have a junior title. So
right.
That's it. Then I saw who got the title. I'm like, I want to go back now. But
I don't. What are you going to do with all these damn belts, DJ? If you go and win the Memphis Junior title and you've already got 3 other titles, you're going to have to get an extra suitcase just to put the titles in, man.
So I had these two. I got these 2 titles and the Southern title. And I also had the AWA heavyweight title that's in Arizona. Just imagine going through TSA in the airport with that, and my bag got flagged every time.
Right.
They said, "Do you got all these bills?" I'm like, "Yes, I do," and my back is hurting me right now.
So look, Jake is back. He's got one more question, then we're gonna head out of here because we're right at 2 hours almost. He said, "Let me ask you a question. What would you say to someone that is getting into the business? What are some tips you would give, Mr. Brown?"
Like what kind of tips? You want business tips or you want workers tips?
For anybody trying to break into business, what would be the first thing you would tell somebody that come up and asked you, "Hey man, I want to be a wrestler. How do I do this, DJ?"
First thing first, you gotta have the right attitude. You have to be disciplined and all that. Then, like I said before, you have to be coachable. Then once you got all that and got all your affairs in order, then you find a wrestling school. You just don't go and sign up. You go do your research on to make sure that's the right one for you. You do that, and then you go and train your butt off. It doesn't matter how many guys there. It doesn't matter where you go there. Bust your butt there, and I guarantee you would get farther than where you thought you wasn't going to get to. So, because it's a lot. Yeah, so there's a lot of schools out there, man. It's like, but some does it for other reasons. But it's like discipline is the most important. You have to have discipline and stuff like that. You have to. That's the only way it's really gonna work. So,
and fundamentals, man. Go to a school, find you a reputable school or a reputable trainer that trains you in the basics of professional wrestling, because it's no different than building a house. You got to lay the foundation before you can start putting up the walls and the roof and all of that stuff. Go find you somewhere that's going to teach you the basics of professional wrestling, because everything we do is built off of those basics.
Yeah, because it's like you can be like this whole spot. You can do all these flip, high spots and everything, but you have a seminar and they're like, do a front row. I don't know how to do one. What? You don't know how to roll? You don't know how to bump, but you can do all these spots. Yes.
See, that's the first thing. That is the absolute first thing when I stepped in the USWA training academy in Nashville. That's the first thing we did was forward rows. Yep. Left arm, right arm. That was the first. That was the base, and then it just built from there. Lockups, taking bumps, headlocks, headlock takeovers. But it's your basics. It's your foundation. And Jake says Memphis Wrestling actually has a wrestling school, and I think Memphis Wrestling is pumping out some good young talent, man.
Yeah, because I went a couple of times and stuff like that, and I went when Jazz was there, and she had a seminar and stuff, and I was going before that. They really, he has an actual wrestling school, and it's pretty cool though how he got it all set and laid out. And like I say, some of them have to be disciplined, and some of them do not have to have this ego so early, and that's really going to hold them back. But like I say, he got some good, decent ones and stuff like that. So my thing is, don't get too comfortable there, because I tell guys that I train and stuff, I'm like, where are you going to go when this company shut down? And they say they don't. I'm like, it will, and it's going to happen. But where are you going to go? You don't know, right? Because you don't know nothing. That you just know just that one.
Right.
So
no, that's some great advice right there, because that is true, man. Look, when I was a kid, you'd have never been able to tell me when I was 15 years old or 14 years old that WCW would not still be a thing right now today. You just thought it would be there forever. Same thing with USWA. Thought it would be there forever, and man, you see what happened to both of those. They gone and forgotten now.
Yeah, just like KAW, WWF, all of it. Like, what happened? MC, they're like, hey, it's gone. So what now? I don't know. You got to figure it out, right?
And the most important thing about one of the very most important things in professional wrestling is connections. Don't ever take that for granted. Who you know in this business can open the doors to a lot of opportunities if the right people see you and the right people know you and the right people like you. So don't ever think that I don't need to go out and socialize or go out and hobnob with these other wrestlers from these other wrestling companies. That's how you're going to get booked. The company you're working for goes out of business, you better hope somebody there or somebody knows you from somewhere else and likes something about you if you want a booking.
Right. That's the whole thing. It's like, don't come to me afterwards when I try to help you at first. When you ask me the first time, okay, but then you deny my stuff. And then when you deny it, then you try to come back when it's gone. I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm like, it's okay. But again, I'm going to slide you something like here. Send your stuff to here, and then just call it at that. So,
Cecilia's back. say that name for me, Danny.
Cecilia.
There you go. Yeah. Sorry, girl. I'm a country redneck. I don't know big words. You know that. You can tell by listening to me. But she says, who you know, what you know, and how you apply it. And that's the pro wrestling business in a nutshell, pretty much right there.
And then now, guess who taught her that?
I would guess you.
Right.
There you go.
So I taught her the back way, and then we got into the ring. So that's another thing too. So,
Jake, I'll let you know, dude, when I get off of here, when I get everything lined out here, I'll let you know something when I check it out.
But I saw KJ game, and he put DJ Van versus Marco Stunt. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I think it was Marco Harris.
Yeah, Marco Harris. My bad. I'm sorry.
So you brought it up, so let's touch on that, because Marco Harris is one of the it guys around this area in a lot of people's eyes. Talk to me about that matchup, DJ.
Okay. I hate to sound like this, but repeat that again, just the last sentence that you just said. He's the best where?
No, I didn't say he's the best. He's the it guy in a lot of people's eyes
Okay.
around this area.
He's the it guy there, right? Okay. I'll just put it like this, just like an honest man. Where else has he been besides there?
There
If
you
he's
go.
like it's like the it guy. Like I said, I'm not knocking him. I've been watching him, like see him work. He's very good. I give him that. But you hot spots. It's like your basics. Where is it? Fundamentals. Where is it? I don't see it in the matches. That's the thing. See, that's the thing about me. I can do all that, but I can do the basics. And then if I do the basics and stuff like that, then it's gonna show where you really are, which that's not that good. But like I said, I would like him, like, yeah, I would get in the ring with him and work him and stuff like that. But it's like, are you humble enough? And stuff like that. Are you even hungry and stuff like that? Because like if you come in and come to me like with an ego, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shut it up to the chin. I'm like, okay, cool. But in the ring, it's gonna come out. And then now it's like, what? It's like, yeah, because of that. Like I say, everybody can be like that it guy in that one small circle, the one small bubble that you have. But once you get out of that bubble, it's like, whoa, I don't really know about it. I'm like, yes, because you haven't worked on it. Like I say, he been doing some good stuff. I give him that and credit and stuff like that. But now, honestly, I don't think he's ready to work me because if so, somebody would have booked it at that time.
I know he's hit a shot or two or maybe more for some NWA shows, but I agree 100% on the fact that the one thing Marco needs to do, he needs to get out. He needs to get out of this area and work other states and other places to get that experience. Here's the thing. He's damn near worked with everybody from everybody in EPW and now Memphis Wrestling. He's pretty much worked with all these guys a number of times. There might be a few that they've never touched, but overall, it's a familiar atmosphere both places. And we said it earlier, you need to put yourself in places where you're nervous because you know these guys are where you really want to be. Right. And that's what tests your mettle.
Because here's the thing. You have to work someone better than you in order to see where you at, like I said earlier. He haven't done that lately, so he think he's better than everybody until you get out, and then you actually see you like you're not that good. And now, like I say, other shows and other states will book him because the way he looks and he can move. But you get in there with somebody that's better than him, they were like, yeah, I think we made a mistake. So it's like now, like he had a shot with NWA. Like I said, he had a shot with NWA one time. And honestly, it's like you have to be honest with yourself. And I'm being a straight shoot and being honest right now. Why haven't you went back? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
Yeah, have they not tried to book you again, or have you not went back for what's the reason? Because here's the thing, if they hadn't tried to book you again after they've seen you, then obviously there's something that they feel like you're missing or you need to work on. And it could be your backstage persona. You know what I mean? It might not be something in the ring. It might be something behind the scenes. Maybe you're a little too arrogant. Maybe they feel like you don't take this serious. Could be whatever, you know?
So far, me being around these guys and stuff, NWA and stuff like that, and the promoters, it's like they're going to look at you from the time you get there to the time you get back. You might not know it, but somebody's there watching you that you don't know. So his arrogance probably did it, but his in-ring and stuff like that too. But the main person told him what he needed to work on and stuff like that. And they've been watching him ever since that point he did. They've been watching him ever since then. But they're not going to tell him and stuff like that. He's not going to notice it. But if you didn't do what they asked you to do, they're not going to end up calling you back. But like I say, now that's the type of hunger that you need to get better. That's what you really need to get better, honestly. It's like if you do that and then swipe, like, okay, well, I'm fine. Well, I went one time. Okay, cool. Like I said, we had one guy that did NWA Power from Dallas. Again, he didn't been back. Just like AEW, he haven't been back because he's not listening to what the actual people telling him what you need to work on and stuff like that. So,
and then sometimes guys get to places like that and they realize, for whatever reason, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not at this level yet, too. There's a lot of, here's the thing about pro wrestling. Confidence is a huge factor in a professional wrestler's career, period. When you're confident, I see guys and girls all the time that I've seen them be rock stars on certain nights, and I've also seen them come out, and I can tell immediately when their confidence is low because it shows on them and it shows in the ring.
right.
And there's a lot of people that go get these shots. They get there, and you might have felt, you might feel like, oh shit, I'm out of my element. I'm outclassed here. But here's the thing. Most guys the first time they go to another company feel some sort of bit about that anyway. You just got to keep going back. It's like promos. If they want you back, go back. Eventually, you're going to get comfortable there, and once you get comfortable, your true talent's going to shine through better once you're comfortable.
Oh yeah, that's why I always say, don't rush to go. Just wait, and then once you do go, you be ready. Then if something that you're lacking on, they're gonna tell you, hey, work on your promos. Okay. Work on your promos. And then they're gonna check and see on your social media how your promo is going. And then if it's getting better, then they're gonna call you back. There you go. And then they're gonna tell you do a pre-tape. Do your promo. All right, cool. So you got better. Okay. So now we're gonna give you a shot and just to see. You're gonna have a match, and then you're gonna do a post tape at the end of your match just to see, just to make sure that we picking and making the right decision, basically.
And be willing to travel. Here's the thing. If they know, if you give them the impression, I mean, honestly, if you give these guys the impression that you don't want to travel, you'd rather stay in your little 40, 50-mile radius, then that tells them immediately, hey, we don't want you here. We need guys who are hungry. We need guys who are want to be here. We need guys who are willing to show up even if they don't get to wrestle. I mean, that's the true fact of it. That's what promoters are looking for.
Yeah, honestly, they are. So it's like you can wrestle all these notable wrestlers, XWE guys, WWE guys. You can wrestle them all day long, but they're going to, like she said, they're going to look at your rep sheet. Where all have you been? Just Tennessee, Mississippi. You're not a traveler, so how can you work for us and you're not even travel? Well, I can travel. No, you can't because your rap sheet says it all. Your resume says it all. So it's like, yeah, because it's like, okay, so you telling me you can budget $300 going 25 hours to another state. Yeah, how? I don't know. So that means you trying to get a hotel, but you don't have enough. He just basically gave you money for gas just to get there. It's like, oh God, where am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep? Oh my God. So you don't know nothing. So that right there can hold you too as well.
And like you said, so many guys sleep in their cars. They got to travel a long distance. You ain't got the money to pay for a motel room. You barely got the money to eat. So what do? Like you said, get to the show early, get a few naps somewhere, get a few winks somewhere in the car, and get ready for the show. Hopefully you're in an arena that's got a shower, which most of the time, especially around here, you're not, but bigger arenas, a lot of them have nice showers. So hopefully you're somewhere where after the match you can get you a shower, get cleaned up before you make that 25-hour trip back home in the car.
Right. That's why they always say, like, especially when you do seminars at clinic, they say, if you don't got a Planet Fitness black card, get one, because just in case you need to take a shower and you got a hotel, you can stop there, take a shower, work out, whatever, and head out and go to the next town. So it's like, that's what I be doing a lot. It's like either driving there, then drive back and stop and get some sleep and stuff like that, especially when I go to San Antonio. I get some sleep in the parking lot and everything. They're like, what you gonna do about food? Man, I ate a sandwich, bro. I'm fine. And drink some water. I'll be okay. I'm like, I can eat tomorrow or something like that. So.
Right.
Yeah, because I trained myself on that. So it's like, yeah. They're like, you need to eat. I said, I would eat when I get done, man. It's like,
Well, there's a lot of hungry days and nights for aspiring wrestlers trying to make it in them business. That's part of paying your dues right there. Sleeping in your car, eating very little, doing whatever you got to do to make it to these bookings. And that's what struck me when I seen you jumping on the bus, DJ. I knew right then. I told my wife, I said, this fucking kid here, he deserves to make it. Not just he needs to make it. You're a guy who deserves to make it.
Yeah, because it's like on a bus, 8-hour bus ride. And me personally, I can't sleep somewhere new. It's like
I'm the same way.
Like I take a nap and wake up, I'm like, bro, where? I'm like, and then you got weird people around you. I'm like, man, I can't even go to sleep. I gotta stay up and wait. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, so there was a challenge for me for the very first time when I actually got on the mega bus. There was like a challenge. I'm like, and then when I got to Dallas, it was like 6 a.m. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You got Uber, whatever. So hey, do that and stuff like that. Sometimes sleep in people like house and stuff like that, like other wrestlers and stuff like that. I sleep in the house, like on the couch or the floor. I'm like, dude, look here. I don't need no bed. You got carpet, brother. That carpet, my best friend. I sleep on the floor. I don't really do not care.
Hey man, ain't nothing funnier than 8 wrestlers paying for one motel room and you can't even walk to the bathroom without stepping on somebody, man.
Man, what? It's like, who get the bed? Whoever paid the most. That's who get the bed. What?
Right.
That's it.
At that point, it don't even matter who gets the bed because usually somebody else wants to jump in there besides you. You get a 2-bed room, and I've been in places where the whole both beds have 2 people in them, and the floors be completely packed. Like you couldn't step down. You had to wake motherfuckers up so they'd move in the middle of the night so you could get to the bathroom, man. But that's pro wrestling.
Yeah, that's it. But there was a lot of people I lacking in, like he said, like traveling. But because I can get like a couple now and tell them, go, come on, let's ride me. We can go, they say Illinois, just traveling. And because me personally, my students can tell you, I do not stop unless I need gas. That's it. I do not stop. She was like, I got to pee. I said, I don't know what to tell you.
I better get a bottle.
Yep. Like, even like I took my boys to Dallas one time. On the way back, my son Adam's like, Dad, I gotta pee. I'm like, what? I gotta pee. I said, dude, I don't need gas. He said, but I gotta use it. I said, okay. I got my vitamin water bottle and tell him, what am I doing with this? Turn around and pee in the bottle. I threw it out. What? I'm like, hey. He's like, dude. I said, dude. And I told him, I said, I don't stop, man. I'm sorry. It's like, I feed you before we leave. I'm like, I don't stop until I get home into a designated area. But I don't stop at all.
All right, DJ, I've said one more question. Look, Jake, I think AJ Lee coming back was cool, man. It's got a lot of steam for the WWE, man. I think it was inevitable. It was a no-brainer. I feel like the minute Punk came back, we knew eventually she would show up. How could you turn down that money? I'm sure she got a fat-ass contract to come back and probably work a part-time schedule more than likely. So, but look, K&J game is back. And he wants to know how many people you have trained and who is your most proud. What student's the proudest? Who you're the proudest of, DJ? And then we're out. Then we're out of here, no matter what anybody else asks.
Honestly, to be completely honest with you, I only trained one person. Honestly, and she keep coming on here. I trained one person because I had multiple people. They couldn't make it. They couldn't cut it. I hate to sound like this, but they couldn't cut it. But she did, actually. And seeing her now is like, whoa. Because she travels too and stuff like that. So she been out of the country. I haven't. She been out of the country in other states that I haven't been in and stuff like that. So I'm like I said, I'm very proud of her and stuff like that because she's a part of NWA too as well. So
right.
It's like, yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like
man.
I said, like the show in Forces, Southern Screen Wrestling, that's her company. I'm just helping her with it. So it's like we doing like a whole lot and we trying to help people and stuff like that. But other people look at us like, y'all think y'all too big. No, we not. We just want to get better. We trying to help other people get there. And all we do is like, hey, like a blueprint. Hey, here, come to this clinic. You don't come, okay? Then we just leave you alone and stuff like that. But I'm very proud of her. That's C-Rex. So, but it's like I say, you see her in person, like, ugh. She's like, ugh, like fat. What? Okay. But you see her work, it's like, oh my gosh, because she was on Memphis Wrestling too.
I've seen her on Memphis Wrestling.
Yeah. So it's like, sure, she's doing her thing too and stuff like that. Like, I tell her sometimes, but I don't always tell her. But yeah, I'm like literally like proud of her and stuff like that. And she wrestles just like me and my dad. So in the female version, so that's very, very stiff. If you
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of Awesome Kong.
Yeah, everybody says that. She like
she does. She reminds me a whole lot of Awesome Kong, and man, she was one of the best. Really, Awesome Kong was the female Vader.
Oh yeah.
You know, let's be honest, she was a killer, man. And here's the thing, DJ. I feel like all the things we've talked about, paying your dues and this and that, in my opinion, the most important attribute, if you want to make it in this fucking business, is you got to have heart.
Right.
You got to look that you got to be tough, and you got to have heart, because heart's what gets you through, man. All them days you don't got food and you're broke, and you go wrestle, and when you get through, you're still broke. You barely got enough money to get home, but you still go every time you get an opportunity. You got to have that kind of heart to make it in this business.
Oh yeah, you gotta have heart, man. That's the whole thing. Like, cause a lot of people, they don't have heart, but they still want to make it. You ain't got it, man. You just ain't got it. I broke a couple of guys' hearts in the ring. I'm like, hey, his business, dog. I'm sorry. I'm like, hey. So
well, it's a tough business, man, and it's unforgiving. And I think now the business is a lot softer. When I broke in, nobody was shy about telling you if you went out there and shit the bed. There wasn't nobody coddling you in the back and, oh, it'll be all right. No, somebody set you down and laid into your ass and told you, why the fuck you do this, and don't ever do that again, or you should have done this. I feel like that the business itself is a lot softer. I feel like everybody's feelings, you got to have tough skin in this business. You got to have thick skin.
yeah, you gotta have thick skin, because you go to one of them old versions, they're gonna literally tell you straight to your face and do not care how you feel about it. Like other people, like if they ask me what do you think about my match, and I'll like, you want me to tell you? Yeah. And I led to them, they were like, I shouldn't ask you. Nah, you shouldn't. But I mean, hey, it's all there to help you, but I'm gonna tell you in a nice way, in a manly voice, and tell you. And like literally like that should help you. And then if I watch you wrestle again next week, and if you didn't apply what you gave me one advice about, now we really finna have a problem, because you literally just wasted my time and energy, breath. And I'm like, you know what? That's okay. That's cool.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. Here's the thing. There's a disconnect between the young guy and the veterans. And I feel like sometimes because the veterans will take a young guy aside, and it's the tone and the way they go about trying to critique them, when deep down, there must have been something about you that they liked, because they wouldn't have wasted their time even talking to you if they didn't care. Right. And instead of taking it like it's a knock on you, listen to the message, and then go home and be your own worst critic. If you got your match on tape, rewatch it and see if whatever that veteran told you turns out to be true when you watch the match, and be honest with yourself.
Yeah, because I do that all the time. I'm like my very worst critic, to the point where I make myself cry. I'm like, dude, every time I make myself cry. I'm like, man, I could have moved this way. I should do less punches. I could have sold this way and this way. I'm like, to the point where I start crying. I'm like, dude, I don't.
You done fucked around and hurt your own feelings.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I want to fight myself at the time, but I mean, people would get the message sooner or later, but I hope it's just not too late.
There is such a thing as too late in this business too. That too late is a real thing in this business. Don't think opportunities is always going to be there. If you get an opportunity, you need to snatch it up and take it, because they really are few and far between, and one day they quit coming all together.
Oh yeah. Then when they start coming, it's like, dang, I should. Yep, too late. But hey.
DJ, man, it has been my pleasure. I didn't mean to keep you on here for 2.5 hours, but when the conversation's good, man, I just let it flow. It has been my pleasure having you. I've looked forward to this interview even before. It's the day I started this podcast, you were one of the first guys I ever wanted to get on it. I knew somewhere down the line I'd end up getting your ass on here, and we'd be able to talk, man.
Man. But
dude, yeah. I appreciate you so much coming on and giving us your time, man.
Yeah, no problem. Cause I hope my phone don't start going off after this. I'm like, oh well, it is what it is. Cause like literally, like I don't know how to put it. Like I can't even put it in words. But my phone go off. Like now, it's like I got zero tolerance for BS right now. So I literally got zero tolerance. So it's like something will happen. I'm like, just call me. Then we're gonna talk about it. If that don't work, send me an address. We can figure this out together or something. I'm like, what's your problem? But hopefully that doesn't happen. I mean, hope people watching and stuff like that. Any little advice that I said that helps, apply that, man. I swear to God, you'll be A-okay, man. So, but like I say, I'm still gonna try. Well, I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna end up working Marco Harris at least once before I'm done.
I want to see that matchup, DJ.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'll make sure I lift weights too. So, yeah.
All right, DJ, man. I know you down in Tampa, man. I know you you done wasted 2.5 hours with me. It's time for you to relax and have some fun, and I appreciate you so much for coming on, my friend.
Oh, no problem, man.
You take it easy, DJ.
All right, you too.
Back on the screen. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Got to get back in the groove. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like this video, share this video. Go to Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. I will be back Monday night at 10 o'clock with Johnny Dotson, the King Superstar. We're going to do some short podcasts all week talking to the upcoming Dirty Dozen competitors. Next Sunday, September 14th, 8 p.m., Pro Wrestling Roast Battles. Do not miss it. You know I got to show you this plug one more time for it, and then I'll let you guys get out of here.
You already know who it is.
We be bustin'.
It's Big Bustin', baby. And I got some Dirty Dozens for y'all.
We be bustin'.
Wrestling roast battles. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready.
We be bustin'.
Here we go. Who be bustin'? We be bustin' like Blassie, like William Perry, we hustlin'. Big in these streets like Big Buster. You a sucker like Lou Brother, who trusted?
We be bustin'.
Lick off shots, shouldn't get clocked. Knick knack, patty whack, give a dog a bone. Dirty Dozens with my bros. Step into the zone, wrestling roast battle, leave that alone.
We be bustin'. We be bustin'. We be bustin'. We be bustin'. We be bustin'.
All right, y'all. I want to thank everybody who tuned in, everybody who interacted with us. I want to thank DJ for coming on once again. Don't forget, next Sunday, September 14th, 8 p.m., Dirty Dozens Pro Wrestling Roast Battles. 2 of these competitors are going to win $50 each before the night's up, and they're going to shred each other. But starting this Monday night, special start time for Monday night, 10 p.m., I got the King Superstar Johnny Dotson on, and we're going to find out why he entered this contest and why he thinks he's better than any of the other competitors. And then every night of the week up through Friday, the rest of them are at 7 p.m., I'm going to talk to each one of the competitors. And then Sunday, we're going to get it on. Y'all take it easy until then.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.